Welcome once again. I want us to talk on a segment that I've entitled The Favor of God. The Favor of God. Maybe I want us to start by asking ourselves, when we say that someone has the favor of God in their lives, what in essence are we talking about? Someone who has the favor of God. Or you hear people saying, really, I got God's favor. What are they trying to imply? In simpler terms, we will say the favor of God is the tangible evidence that the person has the approval of God. Favor is the tangible evidence that one or a person has the approval of God. And we can compare also to grace, because sometimes people confuse grace with favor, though they go hand in hand. So grace, or while grace, is God is blessing us in spite of our unworthiness, that we are not worthy before God, but still the grace of God, all God's blessings, is coming our way, irrespective of our weaknesses. So favor is something that you can easily see. That's why we say it's a tangible evidence. You can see that a person really has the approval of God. And in Genesis chapter 6 verse 8, and then later on, if you read the book of Esther chapter 2, if you go through verses 14 through 18, it will tell you a number of favors that Esther received while she was being prepared. But in Genesis chapter 6 verse 8 it says, but Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. So Noah found God's blessings in spite of his weaknesses. And in Esther, you see it talks about that Esther getting favor every now and again because God was with her. It says, and Esther obtained favor in the sight of all who saw her. That anybody who saw her, she found favor. She found favor. There was that tangible evidence that anybody who saw her, he was like, yes, this is the person we are looking for. As you continue in chapter 2, verse 16, it continues saying, so Esther was taken to King Ahasuerus into his royal palace. So you see, she has gotten more favor. She has gotten more access to the king, whereby not many could be able to get this. As you proceed in verse 17, it says, the king loved Esther. This is still more favor, more than all the other women. And she obtained grace. She obtained God's blessing in spite of her being a Jew. And it continues saying that she even was given a royal crown, or a royal crown was put on her head, and she was made queen instead of Vashti. And in verse 18, you see it says, then the king made a great feast called the Feast of Esther, whereby the king made this feast for Esther, and they declared or proclaimed the holiday in the provinces in her honor. So favor, we will say, is something that each and every person requires in life. It's favor. When you have favor, we will say that God has stepped into your situation to make a worthwhile difference in your life. Many people struggle in life with things. Many people struggle in life with different things and trials in life. But then the favor of God lacks. So all that you need in your life is the favor of God. You hear people say that you need a godfather, you need, a God king. But as a child of God, I want to assure you that you do not need a God Father here on earth, but you need our God in heaven to show up. Because when God shows up, when the favor of God, when God releases his favor on you, when God steps into your situation, then he makes that worthwhile difference. Because favor is attached to your destiny. In other words, favor, I will say it's like a highway to connect you to your destiny. So, when you do not know your destiny, when you do not know where you are going, all that you need is the favor of God. Because favor now becomes like a highway that is connecting you to your destiny. So when you don't understand how your life is going to be, when you don't understand how things are going to work out, when you feel that you are not worthy, then God releases his grace, his blessings upon your life to cover your unworthiness. And he releases the favor, he releases the tangible evidence upon your life that he has your back. God has you, approved you. And in that way, people will be able to see. When the favor of God rests upon your life, there is no person who will not see that God is moving in your life. And that is a practical example that we see in the life of Esther, that everybody was able to see. Maybe it's time to ask ourselves, do you have the favor of God in your life? Or are you trying to struggle to get the favor of God? Or have you come across people, when you look at them, indeed you see that these people have the approval of God in their lives? All that they have in their lives is the favor of God. If there is anything that you and me, we must desire today to have, is to get the favor of God, is to ask God to step into our situations. By him stepping into our situations, it means his favor is coming our way. When God steps into your situation, he makes that worthwhile difference. He makes the difference in your life, and every man and woman that will be able to see and they say, really, this person has God. This person has the approval of God. And so when you are connected to your favor, you are connected to the good things and the grace of God. So it's time that you need to understand you must connect yourself to the favor of God. You must connect yourself to God so that God will be able to step into your situation. It doesn't matter what kind of situation you might be going through. It doesn't matter what circumstances you will be going through. All that you need is the favor of God. All that you need is the approval of God. All that you need is God to step into your situation, and they will turn around things in your favor. My friends, I finish up by declaring that the favor of God shall be upon your life. Maybe you're struggling in your life. Maybe things have not been going the right way. Maybe you have tried this and that and things are not working your way. Maybe you are jobless. Maybe you are trying and the things are not working in your way. It's time to invite God, to tell him, God, step into my situation and make that worthwhile evidence, make that worthwhile difference in my life. And when it happens like that, let God arise in your life. Let God prove, let that tangible evidence be evident in your life as God approves of you. May the Lord bless you as you make that step of faith, as you move forward, declaring and trusting God that your life is not going to be the same. You have to converse positively that let God step into your situation. Let God come into your situation. Let God come. Connect you. Have that favor of God, because that is the highway that is going to connect you to your destiny. May the Lord bless you, and may the Lord richly favor you with his grace and his favor upon your life. God bless.